Hey guys, so this is Hey Brittany. I wanted to come on and just talk about the Anthony Edwards situation a little bit. So I don't really know any of the specifics of what is going on, but I do know that it was announced earlier today that he paid a lump sum child support payment plan, whatever, of $1 million, or at least $1 million. And so obviously people in the comments are going crazy and commenting on the situation. People are saying, hey, this is a good move. He doesn't have to worry about the financial part of it for 18 years. He's done, he's off the hook. And then other people are talking about how even though he's paid up front, she may still be able to later ask for more money. I don't know if that is possible. Hopefully from his perspective, if he really just wants the financial stuff to be taken care of, he obviously should have in his paperwork, whatever, that once he makes this payment, she can ask him for more money. I mentioned earlier, but I just want to say this again, I don't know any of the specifics of the situation, so I'm really just talking about this general situation of a famous man, a rich man, a celebrity, male figure impregnating a woman and then having to deal with the fallout of that, of either having a relationship with the woman or having to go to court and figure out how to deal with the child that they've created together. And so I know that we talk a lot about in the Black community, we do have deadbeat dads or dads who are not involved. And most times when that happens, the dad does not financially take care of the child. He just disappears and the mother is left to raise the child on her own financially, emotionally, physically. She may have help from family and friends, but it's largely on her, it's solely on her to take care of that child. So from that aspect of the Black community, traditionally having deadbeat dads or dads who are not around, I do like the fact that he has financially provided for the child. Now it's going to be interesting to see how that $1 million lasts, because $1 million, a lot of people know that that's not enough to even retire on. Like, you need more than that. So if this money is solely just used for the child, it should last. And I'm even wondering how much will be left over when the child turns 18. Because what if the child just has like 200K, and even 200K as an 18-year-old is a lot of money to have, because I think most 18-year-olds do not have access to that kind of cash. And so long term, I wonder what the consequences or the result of making a decision like this will be, because I've never heard of a man being able to pay 18 years up front like that. And I think that is a good thing, because he could have money issues later down the road, and then now, even though he owes you child support, he can't pay. And so obviously I think it's better to get your money up front if you're in this type of situation, and then obviously you need to manage that money well for the next 18 years. The other sad thing about this situation is that I think that there's a lot of women who are in this situation where they have kids with men who do not actually want to be involved with them, and so they're not going to feel any emotional attachment to the child. Yes, they're going to do the right thing. Yes, they will do the right thing, because as a man, that's what they're supposed to do, but they're really not going to have that emotional connection to the woman, because it was just a one-night stand, a situationship. It wasn't that serious of a relationship. And so from that aspect, I am sorry for the women who are in these positions, because they should be striving to want to be wives and mothers. So I keep thinking about myself, and if I were in this situation, I would be incredibly heartbroken by this. One, because if I was involved with a man who was successful, whatever, I think all women should want to be with men who are successful, and that's been the case for all of history. Women do not see themselves with men who are not providers, who are not able to make money, and who are not able to take care of their families. In nature, women move or gravitate towards men who are providers. So with that being said, I feel like if I were in this situation, I would be incredibly heartbroken, because my goal would have been marriage, to have a family, to grow old together. And so when you have these types of situations where either the woman is just looking to get a check, be it a child, and they're not even really wanting to pursue a long-term relationship, and obviously if you tell the guy up front that you want a long-term relationship, you want marriage, they will obviously either agree with that or they will just move on, because that's not what they want. And so I really do wish that more women, if they are involved with successful men, which they absolutely have the right to do that, they should be pursuing marriage and then wanting to raise a family with that man. And even if it's backwards, you have children first and then you get married. And I think that might be Paul George's situation. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have all of the facts on that, but that's just what's coming to mind. So even if you have kids first and then you get married, that's totally fine. But I think the goal should be to have a long-term relationship, and I think that that will allow for better families in the Black community because you are wanting to create that nuclear family and that stable household to bring a child into and to raise a child in that environment. Even this is kind of a controversial thing to talk about because I believe he has 3 other children, maybe. I'm speaking of Anthony Edwards now, and obviously that's not a nuclear family if all 3 of those kids do not have the same mom. And so I really think that it's important in the Black community that we really focus on nuclear families. I think we should strive for women to have their children with the same man. And even going to the Kardashians, even Kourtney Kardashian is really big on this, and I think Khloe as well, because Khloe for sure has her 2 kids by the same man. Kourtney, I think, was big on that for a while, and I think she even wanted to have another kid with Scott, but then that didn't work out, whatever, and then now she has a kid with whatever his name is, the Travis something. I can't think of his name, but I know who he is. And so obviously I think that that's something that women should have in the back of their minds, that hey, if I have kids, I need to be thinking of, am I going to have multiple kids with this person? Because you shouldn't want to have multiple baby daddies. You should want to have a husband, and you should want to have multiple children with your husband. And I know that divorce happens, things happen, so it may not always work out, but I think that if you go into any relationship with that mindset, I think that you are putting yourself in a better position and your kids in a better position, because you are creating, one, a stable environment for them. You're also making your expectations and your standards clear going into that relationship, and then whatever happens from there happens. So to wrap up this video, I do think that it's good that Anthony Edwards is paying his financial obligations to his child. It is sad that if he does not want to be involved, that is sad for the child, but he also has the right to make that decision. Someone in the comments said that he was basically saying that he will provide for the child when the child is with him, but when the child is with the mother needs to use that 1 million or whatever to take care of the child. So I'm not sure if he wants to completely not be involved, or if he just wants to not be involved financially after he makes the $1 million payment. I'm not sure. To wrap up this video, I think it is great that he did pay his financial obligations to the child, and I also think that it is sad for the child to grow up one day knowing that they'll be able to see all of this information, they'll be able to see the comments, they'll be able to see how people are talking about this situation, and I do hope that that child does not grow up affected by this, even though this should create a lot of trauma. But I think that if the child is kind of educated about why this stuff happened, if the child feels loved by the mother and the mother has a good support system, I think that that's all that the child needs. But the child will be at a disadvantage if it doesn't have its father around to help the child grow. And so yeah, I just wanted to add my 2 cents on this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye guys.